Bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening, Fade to Black, Bespoke Radio for the masses. Yeah. How you doing? It's Monday, December 17th, 2018. 351 days into the new year. Just 14 days left. Wow. We are live. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? That's it. It's Monday, another week here on Fade to Black, and tonight, very special guest, Tracy Ash is with us live from the United Kingdom. Tomorrow night, it is Daryl Sims, the Alien Hunter. Wednesday night, it's Richard Bleepin Dolan, and he will be our last guest of 2018, as it should be. Thursday night is another Fader night with Teresa Yannaris and Divine Frequency on the airwaves, followed by open lines all night long. Now, so, yes, Richard will be our last guest for 2018, and it's just the way the schedule is falling into place here, because right after that, we have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We are not broadcasting on those 2 days, of course not. And then Wednesday night is our party in Hollywood at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. More on that in just a minute. And then the day after that is Fader night. So we will broadcast Fader night, but no guest, right? Okay, so there you go. Then we fall into the weekend. Rita and I head off to Las Vegas, Las Wages. We go out to Las Vegas, where we will spend New Year's out there. And New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we are back on the 2nd, and I don't know if we're going to broadcast on the 2nd, but we're definitely going to broadcast on the 3rd, which I think is Thursday night, and that'll be a Fader night. We haven't determined if we're going to do a show on January 2nd yet. We'll figure that out. So, which falls into Richard Dolan is our last guest for 2018. Okay, so that's just the way the schedule works out. All right, and there you go. But we will have Fader nights, and that's the way that it's fallen into place this year. Okay? All right, so that's it. Here we go. I can't believe it. Just 14 days left. It's unbelievable. And I don't think, and I had to, I talked about this with Rita. I never have, Rita, we've never been in Vegas for New Year's. So this is a first time out for us, and I can't wait for that. That should be a pretty fun New Year's Eve. There you go. Okay? If you're going to be in Vegas, let us know, by the way. We'll be out there for, I think, 3 days, 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. And if you're going to be out there, let us know. Okay, maybe we'll run into each other on the strip. Okay, on Stellar.com. That is our social media venue of choice. On Stellar.com. Come and hang out with us over there. On Stellar.com. Register. You can use my promo code Jimmy. Register over there. Send me a friend request and hang out. Message me. You can do whatever you like. Write an article. Get noticed and share the knowledge over at onstellar.com. Twitter is at JChurchRadio. And I just tweeted right before the show. And then Facebook and YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com. Follow, like, and subscribe. I just tweeted right before the show. Why do some people tweet in the third person? What's going on there? Isn't Twitter, Kanye doesn't tweet in the third person, right? I don't know if the Kardashians are doing their own tweeting, but nobody is that big, or whatever. What I'm trying to say is, why do some people tweet in the third person? If you're going to have somebody tweet for you, then that's cheating. So you need to have those people tweet in the first person. I mean, that's what Twitter's all about. Why do some people tweet in the third person? Take note of that. Take note of that. When you are reading somebody's Twitter feed and they are tweeting in the third person, either that is somebody tweeting in the third person trying to act like somebody is tweeting for them, and that is strange, or really strange, or somebody's tweeting for you, and then your Twitter feed is not you. Why would you do that? Right? At least fool me a little bit. At least fool me. I want to think that it's really you, but there you go. All right. Why do somebody, Dexter takes offense to your last comment? That's funny, Dexter. That's good. That's good. Yeah, why do people tweet in the third person? I don't think I've ever done that. Not even by accident. But why do some people tweet in the third person? That is unbelievable. If you're going to have somebody tweet for your channel and tweet on your feed, man, you need to have a set of rules. The first one is, and you wonder why you're not getting retweets or likes, because people are looking at them going, dude, what is this? Advertising? Bob Dole says. Oh, that is funny. All right. You can email throughout the show, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Of course, hashtag F2B is the sandbox. And today, if you notice, my nose is plugged. And there's something that happens for me in December. It happens every single year. And no, it started about 3 or 4 years ago. And I was never affected by the seasons, right? Now, all of a sudden, December, and I don't know what's going on with plants or Southern California or whatever, suddenly I can't breathe in December. I don't know what it is. It's absolutely incredible. I can't stay on top of it. But there you go. So that's what's happening there, if I sound a little nasally. Breaking news. Ousted CBS chief Les Moonves will not receive any severance payment from the company, the board of directors announced today. The board members said that they have concluded that they have ample reason to fire Moonves, thus denying him severance. And this isn't just like 2 weeks, 2 months pay and some cash. Oh, no. Under the terms of his employment contract, Moonves was owed about $140 million. And that, my friends, is a lot of ducks quacking in the pond. When he was forced out in September amid sexual harassment and assault allegations, $20 million was set aside for grants, and the remaining $120 million was set up in a trust. Les Moonves, wow. Well, he's rich. He's rich. I don't know if he's going to miss it, but $140 million denied. Now, check this out. If you live in Utah, you may think twice about having an extra drink before driving home this New Year's Eve. Why? Starting December 30th, the state will lower its blood alcohol content limit to 0.05, the strictest DUI standard in the nation. Holy crap. I don't even know what 0.05 is. Is that like a beer? It's wow, right? I don't know what that is. I'm going to flip that over. What? Oh, I thought you were talking to me, Eric. It's like I almost checked my face. How low of a blood alcohol content is that? Is it one drink? Is it one shot? Is it one beer? One glass of wine? That's it? I mean, you can't even do that, is what they're saying. You can't drink it all. Well, you shouldn't drink it all and drive, but man, 0.05. So I'm going to defer that to Twitter. All of you Fadernauts out there, let me know how much is 0.05. All right. A newly discovered object is the most distant body ever discovered in the solar system. That's right. And it's the first object ever found orbiting at more than 100 times the distance from the Earth to the sun. The discovery team nicknamed the object Far Out. And its provisional designation from the International Astronomical Union is 2018 VG18. Preliminary research suggests it's a round pinkish dwarf planet. The same team spotted a faraway dwarf planet and nicknamed it the Goblin this past October. The research team is scoping out these ultra-distant objects to search for the gravitational influence of the supersized Planet 9, also called Planet X. That's what they're looking for. They're finding these far distant objects and planets and the gravitational pull on them. They're going to find Planet X, Nibiru. Now, this guy here called Far Out, and they should stick with that name, by the way, Planet Far Out, is a 1,000-year orbit around the sun. 1,000 years. Think about that for a second. Nibiru, Planet X, Sitchin, Anunnaki, right? Sumerian text. We're getting close here, folks. All right. All right. More than 300 women. Now, I need everybody to sit down and listen to what I am about to report on. More than 300 women have accused Brazilian faith healer John of God of sexually abusing them. This is according to Brazil's state media agency, citing the Department of Public Ministry. And a court ordered his arrest earlier today, and he is now in jail after a long negotiation to surrender. The women from countries around the world were seeking spiritual healing, and at least 335 people have contacted the Department of Public Ministry with accusations and have received 15 formal complaints so far. John of God in jail in Brazil. This is a breaking story and very fluid, and more on this as it develops. Now, I mentioned earlier, next Wednesday, December 26th, the day after Christmas, Fade to Black is having our annual holiday party at the world-famous Rainbow Bar and Grill on the Sunset Strip right here in Hollywood, California. Now, start making plans now. Okay, come and celebrate with us. And, it's no admission, right? There's no door. Just come on, say Fade to Black. Come on in, cash bar. Dinner is on you, but the Fadernauts are all going to be there. We're going to have a lot of researchers and authors from around the world in Los Angeles. They're all going to be there. Maybe some famous musicians are going to come by and hang out because it is the Rainbow Bar and Grill. Okay, now we've got everything posted up there on Twitter. You can head over to our Facebook events page and let us know and RSVP. We will see all of you next Wednesday. That's right, December 26th, the Rainbow Bar and Grill, our holiday / Christmas party. And then right after that It is the 2019 Conscious Life Expo right here in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton. This year we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken, and I will be hosting the panel, the Ancient Aliens panel with Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, and David Wilcock. You want to come out. Now, that panel with Eric, the 50th anniversary, will be Friday night. You have to get tickets for that, and all you have to do is go to consciouslifeexpo.com for a full conference schedule, tickets, lodging, all of that stuff is right there. There is a banner for CLE at jimmychurchradio.com. All right, now, let's move on. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. It is just $2 per month. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and click on the podcast banner. And you can also become an official Fadernaut over at our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com, where you can get commercial-free downloadable archives. You can get autographed shirts and hats. You get a personal email to me. You get the bunker cam. What else do you get? You get all of that stuff. Just go. Become an official Fadernaut today over at jimmychurchradio.com. All right, let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Mia Jovovich. Today is 43 years old, and she will always make the list because of The Fifth Element. One of the great movies, seriously, of all time, right there. The Fifth Element, Luc Besson. Was she married to Luc for a minute? Was she? Man, I don't know. To be more accurate, Australia has been 0.05 alcohol content for over 30 years. Is that true? Okay, I missed it. It depends on your body weight. Okay, interesting. 0.05. You're getting old, church. What do you mean I'm getting old? Because I don't drink and drive? Jeez. I drink and stay at home. That's what I do. Mia Jovovich today is 43 years old. And Resident Evil, it's all flooding back to me right now. All right, OTD on this day in history. 1903 went down near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Orville and Wilbur Wright make the first successful flight in history of a self-propelled heavier than air aircraft. Fader fact. Okay, are you ready? This has been vetted, by the way. It's been vetted. Quaker oatmeal packages in 1902 contained a coupon redeemable for an actual deed to a small plot of land in Milford, Connecticut. That's right, and it's real. A few square feet of land. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. So some people actually redeem the coupon. They got a deed to the property. The story is remarkable. So they had this plot of land out there. They called it like Quaker Oats, Quaker Oatsville. And everybody had this plot of land. And somebody came in, and it was Bic, Bic, the lighters, Bic lighters. And they wanted to build a factory for Bic lighters on that plot of land. So they had to go back and look at the deeds, look at the property taxes, figured out who was doing what. I'm not making this stuff up. So eventually, Bic went in and bought the property. I don't know if everybody that had a deed suddenly had a windfall of profit and money, but you had to keep up with your property taxes for this 3 square feet of land. I'm not making this stuff up. It really happened in Quaker oatmeal packages back in 1902. Tonight, very special guest live from the UK. Tracy Ash is with us. Tomorrow night, Daryl Sims, the alien hunter, is here. And Wednesday night, it's Richard Bleepin Dolan, our last guest of 2018. That's right, as it should be. Thursday night is another Fader night with Tracy and Eris and Divide Frequency on the airwaves, followed by open lines all night long. All right, now I got to hit this River Moon Coffee Fade to Black blend. Best coffee in the world. Promo code F2B blend. You've got to go and get yourself some. I swear, it's a life-changing thing. It's an epiphany when you drink River Moon's Coffee's Fade to Black blend. It's unbelievable. All right. So last night after the show, Rita says to me, have you heard about the recent poll about having Santa gender neutral? And I was like, what? And I thought to myself, the world has gone nuts. That's it. Seriously. And today I'm driving around getting stuff done. Actually, I was taking my dogs to the groomers, in case you really want to know, which I did. That was a successful mission. And Santa's gender is the conversation on KFI. And KFI here in Los Angeles is the big talk radio station, right? AM 640. And I'm listening to this, and I'm clenching my teeth. I'm just holding the steering wheel so tight I almost crashed the car a couple of times. And here's the deal. And this show is about conspiracy, all of it. As you can see, I'm rolling up my sleeves. You like that? Because, man, I'm pissed. Santa, gender neutral. This show is about conspiracy, and something is going on here, and I'm going to call it out. But before I do, let me be very, very clear. I want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. Santa is a dude. A man. And that's it. That's it. There's no room for debate here. And I know you're going to ask yourself, fine, Jimmy, but where's the conspiracy? Well, it's like this. Some time ago, and I'm going to go back about 10 years, because this is where my memory comes into play. About 10 years, 11 years. Some time ago, some group decided to make gender a part of our public schools curriculum, part of our children's education. And they snuck it in. We didn't know anything about it. And I started to notice it with our two daughters. They were mentioning it from time to time. But I thought it was about bullying, and I didn't pay much attention to it. Be respectful to others and everyone, even if they may seem a little different from you. And, I was cool with it. It made sense to me. And then about 4 years ago, I started to help my kids out with their college stuff. I'm looking at their tests and quizzes and papers, helping them cheat, that kind of stuff. I'm kidding. And I noticed that no matter what class, no matter what, math, law, science, English, whatever, all of it had some pretty crazy offensive stuff in these classes about gender. All of it. And stuff like, and I'm not kidding here, stuff like, okay, so you've got one gay, one lesbian, one transvestite, and one gender neutral prostitute traveling at 60 miles an hour to, and I'm like, what does this have to do about math, right? And I almost lost it, to the point where today you have to understand it's everywhere in our public school system. We have a whole generation now, 10 years in, that are knee deep in it. They have been taught. And right now, there is nothing that you can say or do to them. You can't. The damage is done. They learned it in school. Can you unteach them? No, you cannot. Now, and you probably, this is the clincher, you probably didn't know anything about it. You didn't know. Now, check this out. An actual college level assignment. Listen to me. I read it myself. And it was, dress up in something that you are not, any gender or sexual preference, and go out in public, and then write an essay on how it made you feel and how others looked at you or made any comments. What? Are you kidding me? Now, don't ask me what this has to do with math, science, or English, but it was real, and it was for a grade. I am not joking. Now, sure, you've heard about the bathrooms a little bit here and there, but the full extent of it and how far it has gone, you haven't heard a thing. And you have to ask yourself, why? That's the conspiracy. What's the end game here? Look, it's very simple. Whatever my background and where I have been and the things I have done in life, there is nobody out there more do your own thing because I have, right? But it's very simple. Whatever you have down there, that's it, right? That's it. With the few exceptions, you are one or the other, right? That's it. Take a look, right? Now, whatever your personal beliefs are, that's on you. I don't care. Go for it. But for all the love that is holy, do not bring your personal stuff into the Santa question. I'm being serious. That's where I draw the line. Now, in this poll, 4,000 people were asked about this. 4,000 people polled. Over 700 said that Santa should be gender neutral. Now, I know that it's just a poll, and polls can't be trusted, but that is not the point. The point is that people are talking about it. Now, you would think that you would be hard-pressed to find 700 people in the entire United States to say something as stupid as this, but not 700 out of 4,000. Scary, isn't it? Whatever the big crazy conspiracy that is going on, I don't know, but it has been successful. Me personally, whatever or whoever you think you are or whatever you want to be is all good. That's fine. Have at it. Live the life that makes you happy. But we have worked long and hard. People have died for freedoms, for equality. Let's not take things in the wrong direction for the wrong reasons. And let's keep Santa out of it. I don't want you influencing my Santa. I'm not influencing you. Santa, Saint Nick, based on a male, a real person. Dude, he's not gender neutral. Keep Santa out of it. And what about Mrs. Claus? Oops, right? Does she have a say in this? Yeah, that's right. I said she. And just the fact that I have to point that out is all the proof that you need that this conspiracy is working and it's gone too far. And you didn't even know that it was going on. That's the success. That's just the way they want it. Seriously. All you have to do is sit down with your kids, whatever their age. Ask them what's going on. Take a look at their homework, their tests, their quizzes. Ask them what's being discussed in class today. It'll blow your mind. And it makes you wonder who made these decisions. They should have polled the parents 10 years ago and asked them what they want taught in our schools. And that would be a game changer, wouldn't it? So, here's what's next. We have men's and women's prisons, right? Well, if you're incarcerated or about to be, contact your attorney right now and demand a gender-neutral cell, a bathroom. Hell, don't even stop there. Demand a whole gender-neutral prison. There you go. Now, what about the men's warehouse? I'm so brainwashed right now I can barely say it. It's just so wrong. How dare they have a name like that? It should be called the They Warehouse. Then Santa could shop there too. Seriously. All right. Tonight, Tracy Ash is live with us all the way from the UK. Tomorrow night, Daryl Sims, the alien hunter, is here. And Wednesday night, it's Richard Bleepin Dolan, our last guest of 2018. Thursday night's another Fader night. I am your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back with tonight's guest, Tracy Ash. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the Buy 2, Get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life. Change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of doing what's right. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Tracy Ash is here, live from the UK. Tomorrow night, it is Daryl Sims, the Alien Hunter. And then Wednesday night, Richard Bleepin Dolan, our last guest for 2018. Can you believe it? But I wouldn't have it any other way. Thursday night's another Fader night. Teresa Yannaris is going to be here, Divine Frequency on the airwaves, followed by open lines all night long. But tonight, it's Tracy Ash. She's a researcher on energy orbs, interdimensional communication, earth power sites, unique how-to super energy and super transformation expert, teacher of groundbreaking consciousness, potential, and awareness, a world-class transformation catalyst, business, and life purpose visionary. Tracy's limitless energy and pioneering of know-how knowledge ignites passion, purpose, and action in people's lives and worlds. She is an ancient wisdom traditions initiate and a 21st century alchemist. She is the director of the Psychic School and the Life Vision School, UK and Japan, New Consciousness Network, a nonprofit global community project, and the Conscious Retreats in Egypt and Europe. Her TV and media includes The Guardian, The Evening Standard, Kindred Spirits, C4 Cutting Edge, The Daily Express, The Daily Mirror, Star People, Natural Spirit in Japan, PSI Journal Japan, and Radio 4. I would like to welcome for the first time to Fade to Black, Tracy Ash. Tracy, well, I would say good evening. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Is it all good? I know it's so early over there, but thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm used to traveling, so it's an early start, but it's okay.
Well, I thought about that because you do so much work. You're going to be in Australia next month. You're over in Japan a lot, UK, United States too as well. So you're on a world timeline, aren't you?
I am. I'm probably in every country, every couple of months, I'm touching base with a big Stargate, a big power site, and that appears to be my world service to humanity and really kick-starting, raising the frequency of the planet.
Now, before we get started, you get the first-time guest disclaimer. Now, the next time you're on, you're not going to get it, but you're going to get it tonight, and here it is. Tracy, it's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends, and where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, but we're going to end as friends. There you go. You ready? Do you accept the disclaimer?
I accept fully.
Let's do this. Now, you've got so many different things going on, and your awareness of the consciousness network is profound. But to get here, you had a life's journey, maybe even an epiphany. Take us back. What got you here with us tonight?
So do you want my childhood beginnings? And let's begin. I came in basically pretty awake. I have the same questions around changing reality, questions on quantum, questions on transdimensional, multidimensional. So as a child, I always had intense and incredible contact experiences. These ramped up during childhood through adolescence as well. On my grandmother's death, I was her gatekeeper, and I was 17. I dreamed her death about 6 weeks before she passed, and that made me incredibly aware of how we can time travel to aid those who are passing, and time travel to bring those who are departing, those loved ones, to their bedside as they depart. That passing of my grandmother ramped up my abilities. I mean, things were moving at home physically. I'm a physical medium. I'm a medium who works with direct contact. So when spirit communicates with me, spirit manifests. That reality gateway stays to this day. So at 17, I began my training, and very traditionally, I worked at my training very hard through the SAGB of Great Britain, Spiritualist Association of Great Britain, whose president was Arthur Conan Doyle. And then I also trained at the College of Psychic Studies. And at that time, I was able to be taught by some of the most incredible trance channels of last century, some with 50, 60 even 70 years experience. And those great wisdom keepers and masters of almost a lost tradition now, those individuals taught me, and I was mentored by the president of the College of Psychic Studies, Susanna McInnery, and she took me on board at a very, very early age, and I became her protege, and she described me as having an octave higher in frequency and energy than the other traditional mediums who were part of her stable at that time. And she saw something unique and special in my work. And that took me on creating programs specifically for under 35s. Now, at the time, we didn't have phrases like millennials, we didn't have crystals, we didn't have rainbows, but the predominance of my work has always been to work with the new frontier and to work with those individuals who have a very rich and deep and innate knowledge and wisdom that is intrinsic to service and transforming the planet, transforming the consciousness of the planet. So for the last 20 years or so, I've been working on creating, developing, supporting a global community of evolutionaries and revolutionaries who see it within themselves to make a stand in terms of humanity and saving our planet. So the whole course of my unfoldment in terms of my work has always been about saving the planet, aiding humanity, utilizing genuine and really solid, grounded and powerful metaphysics to change our reality. And I set that goal very early on in my training, that if I was going to train in metaphysics, then I would no doubt be able to access the evidence. And as you know, it's one of my passions to collect footage, to work with the direct communication at the stargates, at the power sites, and that I do film. There's always these huge questions that are left unanswered when we don't access the evidence. And so while I'm fascinated in research, I am passionate about quality metaphysics, quality consciousness training, so that we can achieve the all-important evolutionary status, so that we can move into the next phase, which is, of course, contact, which is, of course, an education beyond 3D and 4D, really looking to our universe for answers once we also discover that the answers are within ourselves equally. So I'm hugely interested in the corridors, what corridors of learning, what corridors of contact can assist us, accelerate us, progress us. And so deeply connecting with these sacred experiences, high frequency, groundbreaking, biblical often experiences, and what happens not only to me when I am working at stargates or in communication with contact, but what happens with those I am training, I am guiding at ancient sites. So it's a phenomenal job. I travel all over the world just to stargates, just to power sites. It's part of my service as an Earth Grid worker. I mean, it's simply phenomenal in terms of the way that I'm working with a quantum alchemy around the Earth, and we're really being called at this time to pioneer new ways in this arena. As you know, I think what next is on every panel's top question list. It really is what is next. And that's always been my question. How do we take it into the what's next? And that means we must always be divinely and sacredly guided, and we must always be connected, and we must always question and reset the ego and the limitations that we set upon our reality based in our beliefs and our knowledge bases as well. So I can go on and on and on, because so many different areas are so interconnected and such a profound part. All of the mechanics of the various different areas come together in my work. I don't just specialize in one area. I'm an evolutionary. I'm a new frontier teacher. I'm working with quantum mechanics because we have to solve the false matrix. We have to solve the false timelines, and that's what I'm hugely, hugely passionate about and hugely awake about too.
You mentioned some of the sensational parts of this. We all love to hear those stories. So I want to back up for just a second before we start to move forward, because you mentioned when you were 17 with your grandmother's passing that it started to become physical, that things started to move around the house. Was that the first? What moved around the house? What happened there?
Well, when grandmother passed, we experienced a lot of physical activity, and my grandmother was by my side nonstop. And because of the nature of my childhood, this isn't something that was shocking or new. In fact, it's something that most of us experience in my family. I actually come from the north of England, and we live on the parameters of the Roman Wall, which, as you know, is an immense boundary for the ancient knowledge of Egypt. And I spent my childhood growing up playing on the Roman Wall and being connected with spirit. Being awake as a medium was something that is part of my childhood, is part of my whole family's experience. So based on that experience, I had no question that my service would be in this arena at a very early age. I suppose I'm adult indigo, but more than that, I'm an individual who is simply wired in a metaphysical way, in a quantum way, which means I learn differently, I experience differently. This is the path that was chosen for me. So my first initiation, of course, was at 17, and it inspired the most incredible journey.
And when you started to see these objects move around, was that an indication to you that there was, I mean, you already knew that there was something else to the world, but when...
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, there's prophecy. I had prophecy. I was able to do readings for individuals. I was always able to read energy and read the consciousness behind the words, etc., etc. I was able to experience telekinesis. I was able to experience prophecy, telepathy, clairvoyance. I had all of these gifts inbuilt. These weren't gifts or technologies that I had to sit in circle to develop or sit in training to develop, I already had an incredible stable of gifts that you would place in that PSI range. And in terms of my work today, I work hugely through biology, through the heart, through the mind, and I don't work with one particular technology dominantly. So I had many awakening experiences connected with these gifts, connected with these technologies. And of course, my sacred destiny is to pursue the unfolding of these gifts. So 17 was the gateway, and 17 was the gateway that I stepped into to commit myself to my purpose. There was no other path that I really deeply wanted to pursue. I was also at art college at the time, but even within the context of that, the drawing skills that I was developing was all part of that inner world development, the imagination, visualization, being able to work with trends, etc., because I was also a design student. So there have been so many various components of my life which have given me that nod in terms of we're taking you to the development of metaphysics. And I committed wholly. And I mean, this is not just a special interest area of mine. I see the way that we have been manipulated. Everything that we experience in our lives is metaphysically experienced, whether we are being hijacked in terms of the wound, the false matrix, etc. These exchanges are all frequency. So from the development of my training at 17, I've been deeply connected and dedicated with metaphysics to reset our consciousness, to reset our reality. And with that comes the immaculate metaphysics and the immaculate information, the immaculate guidance, the immaculate experiences. And the experience that I had with my grandmother, i.e. the telekinesis, that's been incredibly important later on, because as my work has ramped up, then I can call in contact, time and location, and we have direct contact. We have UFO fleets emerging. They came in Shasta, Egypt, Tokyo. I mean, this year has been just one huge contact experience after another. So the very early beginnings of my work, which of course were all about me being a very natural and gifted medium, it took dedicated training. I mean, we're 30 years later now, and oh my goodness, I'm still so massively committed to really taking this work to the outer limits so we can really understand it and understand how potent and powerful and world-changing it can be. So that's my story, yeah.
Do you find, we've got about 3 minutes before the break, Tracy, do you find that, you mentioned the under 35 at that time, and do you find that the generations, the kids today, are fully upright and awoke, right? That they have gifts in their DNA that I don't remember having these kind of gifts when I was a kid. I wasn't that awake. But today, these next generations are pretty bright, aren't they? Yes, they are completely wired. My husband is creator of Zen Awakening Festival. It's a conscious festival. I mean,
his project is such an honor to be part of. It's an incredible project in terms of the service to this new generation of spiritual seekers. Yes, they are completely wired to save the planet. What I continuously find when I speak with this generation, I mean, we're generating so much support for this generation. I truly believe in them. They also require immensely cutting-edge, new frontier technologies. They are respondent only to truth, integrity, authenticity. So they are immensely awake. They require mentors who are completely genuine and completely awake too. And I believe they call each and every one of us to stand in our power and to activate these gifts also. They demonstrate the dream of our reality as humanity on the planet. What I find particularly moving is their ability to mobilize, and that's an exceptionally important part of my work when I support this generation. So 20 years ago, I did the same in London. And now, today, we're doing the same in the United States. And it's my pleasure to work with the evolutionaries of the next generation. I mean, they're just outstanding.
Let's take a break right here, Tracy, and when we come back, we'll jump into 3D and 5D. And you brought up Hadrian's Wall. I'm not going to let that get away from us either. We'll come back to that too as well. Our guest tonight, live from the UK, Tracy Ashe. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. Come join us for the 2019 Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton. This year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken, and I'll be hosting the panel with Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, and David Wilcock. Join George Norrie, Nassim Haramein, Robert Schock, Daniel Brinkley, Grant Cameron, Julia Mossbridge, Teresa Yannares, and another 50 speakers who will be presenting at the 2019 Conscious Life Expo. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for tickets and a full conference schedule, or click on the CLE banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, our guest, live from the UK, Tracy Ashe, is with us. Tomorrow night, Daryl Sims, the alien hunter, is here. Wednesday night, Richard Bleepin Dolan. He will be our last guest of 2018. I know it sounds strange that early in the month, but it's just the way the schedule is playing itself out. We will have a couple of Fader nights, so everybody just relax there. But tonight it's Tracy Ashe. And Tracy, I want to go back. You mentioned something that I thought was great, where you said that when you're out speaking and you're doing panels, you get the question, right? When? Yes. What's going on? And I have had so many emails and comments about this that it's very simple. Jimmy, I'm sick and tired of waiting for this 5D thing. Is it going to be this year? What is going on? I'm about ready to give up, right? So what can everybody expect? Is this something that's going to happen all at once? Or is this a personal thing? What's happening there?
Okay, I'm just going to retrack on something you mentioned earlier about the new kids. You know how the new kids are like totally configured, their game changers, their reality changers.
No doubt.
So those kids operate on an entirely different frequency, just as I do in terms of my metaphysical training and my commitment to ability. I want to go back to you in terms of what you described. I can say, for example, train you. So you are reset. And what needs to happen is where we have particular aspects of programming, there are frequency distortions, consciousness distortions that impact our reality. So we enter into quality training, and then that resets us so that we are in resonance and resonant with this new quantum generation. And that is where we can consciously accelerate. So when I embark on training individuals, there needs to be a free will activation, a pursuing of that particular gateway of reality. So in many respects, even in terms of my own training, my own practices, we must dedicate to practice. We must, of course, be hugely inspired by research, but we must not cling to the words of our researchers and experts. We're all part of creating a genuine shift if we choose it and take responsibility. So these are critical times, as you know, so do not wait. I believe, for example, this is why I take people on Sky Watches, because even when we perhaps are not so inspired to meditate, to dedicate to meditate and really untangle ourselves from false matrix and programs that are associated with the 3D timeline. The hijacks of our day-to-day lives must be also solved so that we can enter into this transition also. So it's quite a battle currently in terms of how we pursue Ascension, 5D, sacred reality, and how we continuously solve it as we move through our lives, as we move through the many gateways of reality that we experience on a day-to-day basis also. So there are many different factors. I believe, yes, we should be inspired by words and books, etc. But again, this is a 3D education, which equally is designed to not take you to the gateway and not take you through it. So contact experiences, stargates, power sites, being trained by individuals who are in that quantum, in that 5D, in that sacred destiny. These are all critical factors, frequency, food, etc., etc. And as you know, it's about looking at so many different components of our lifestyle. Moving away from the superficial, spiritual stuff, the technologies that are low impact, no impact, and really getting into the totally solid, grounded, authentic consciousness training. And it gives you the results. So, for example, if I do a Sky Watch, we have contact, and that brings in the 0 point technologies, the new technologies. It integrates those technologies into those individuals present. And of course, those kind of experiences, the real deal experiences, they're going to take you to registering the reality of it without doubt, without question. So in terms of the prophecies, in terms of the information that I receive through my constant journeys to power sites, my constant journeys with the extraterrestrial intelligence that's assisting my work for this great shift and awakening that's happening on the planet. I mean, we are being aided, there is no doubt. And what I did in April, I had a massive contact experience at Shasta. I mean, a whole fleet emerged. I was with Sherry Arilano, who is creator of the Ascension sessions. And between us, we were able to capture this experience that was just extraordinary. Her son was present also. This has also been researched by CSETI Australia. We've got a massive report on it. I presented it at San Francisco New Living Expo in April, because of course the question was there again. When is Ascension going to happen? And of course, when these questions come in, often it can't be answered by those who haven't experienced it yet. So I presented it on the Ascension panel at San Francisco. And I mean, Laura Eisenhower looked at it. She went, "This is the best live footage I've seen in the world." It was presented. I'm dedicated to obtaining the proof that we all need in this arena. And the work that I do is dedicated to exactly that, Jimmy. I do not wish to offer any services, any training to individuals without seeing remarkable results. And the training programs that we offer, we have AIMS, which is a newly launched project. AIMS is Ancient Intelligence Mystery School. I mean, I work off my past life memories as regards to mystery schools. I'm a Sufi initiate as well.
Yeah, let me jump in there, Tracy, really quick.
Yes.
This is a good point to ask. The ancients seem to have achieved 5D. And they were there, the Hermetic schools, the mystery schools, they made the transition, and then it somehow went away. And now we're trying to get back to where the ancients had already achieved and had already gotten there. Why did we lose it? Why were we at 5D at one point and just let it go?
Well, interesting question. I believe that our sovereign right currently on the planet is to live on sacred earth, live in sacred destiny. I believe there's a huge ascension cover-up. And if we look to the stargates, the power sites, the grid all over the planet, there is evidence today, and I believe this is where contact is going to show up and is going to become more available through the stargates. But what we need to do is we need to solve the false matrix. We need to solve the wound because, of course, there are frequency distortions associated with that. So the gateways for so many of us are closed. And again, that's the manipulation of the false matrix and the enslavement, or even the perceived enslavement. So once we resume our connection with, for example, stargates, ancient sites, those stargates, those power sites are encrypted with the data, the reality gateways as they were then. And if we are directed at sites by individuals who are gatekeepers, then that will take us into not only stepping into the gateway, but stepping through the gateway of ascension. So it's hugely important as a guideline for your listeners that every mentor that you brush with, in terms of whether it's inspiration, whether it is training, the formidable frequency, read the frequency, feel the frequency of the mentor, of the researcher, of the expert, because that will indicate whether or not that individual is really there within the context of sacred, within the context of ascension. So we often fill in the gaps, the blind spots in terms of information. And even in our arena, there are areas within our arena where our own blind spots are filled with data that is and does need to be questioned, is questionable. So for me, I believe we must show up at the ancient sites. We must show up in training. We must direct experience. And it's very simple. If we are experiencing it, it's the real deal. If we're not, then we have to reset and we need to look to new corridors of learning, of inspiration. One thing we have, which is hugely important, is our sacred planet is the critical technology. It holds all of the data on all the timelines, is a huge resource. Remember the false matrix? It distorts your energy system. So you will be a little offset in terms of our sacred earth. So when we, for example, show up at sites, power sites, stargates. What I've also registered through my research is there is predominantly at these gateways, at ancient sites, Egypt in particular, I run about 8-9 tours a year in Egypt. My passport is, I think it's up to about 40 visa stamps in Egypt just over the last 2-3 years alone. So I'm constantly researching at these sites. I am not just an office-based researcher. What I've registered at all of the stargates that I visit is there is one mineral present which is hugely important in terms of taking us back into the sacred. That mineral is calcite. And calcite is seen in the solar temples. It was made, or it was the casing stone or the casing stones on the Great Pyramids. Calcite is present at Uluru. Uluru is another major stargate that I work at, and I'll be speaking and working at Uluru with a Cosmic Consciousness Conference. So we have this material. It's a dream material. It's a sacred dream material. It's a sacred reality material. Now, that material, when we begin to meditate with it, it resets our entire energy system, our entire consciousness. And so where the sacred feminine, where we cannot reach the void any longer, it reinstalls the sacred feminine. And it allows us to step into the void. So we're standing on that gateway, which is the quantum, which is the 5D, which is the sacred. And that takes us into bending, breaking all the rules of conventional 3 and 4D realities, the false matrix laws as well.
Yeah, Tracy, what is the false matrix?
So it's the reality that we find ourselves in that completely locks us out of our sovereign and sacred rights, our destiny to live on this planet as custodians, true custodians in metaphysical gifts, in sacred love, in relationships where we've walked with our flames and the souls that love us eternally. I mean, this is a completely different paradigm. So we unlock the false matrix is low frequency stereotypes, low frequency generic stereotypes, and all the attachments that we have to those low frequency values that debase who we are as a species on the planet. So that's what I seek to untangle myself from. And of course, you are the same in terms of the individuals you interview on your show. It's a big question, setting ourselves free, liberating ourselves as humanity, and liberating ourselves to love so that the next generation can stand in their sacred power and stand in their sacred power free enough to create the much needed solutions in the world, so that they're not enslaved.
Yeah, and why would they, that's air quotes, right? Why would they suppress the mystery school teachings and information for so long? What is it that they want to keep hidden?
Well, in terms of generating metaphysical gifts, we also then can experience our future. We recognize that we're trans-dimensional, multi-dimensional beings living multi-incarnations. I mean, we go on and on and on. It's mind-blowing. We can no longer be controlled.
And with that, if we all start to recognize that Earth could possibly be unity at one point,
yes,
that would be the freeing thing that we all seek. What does that strip from those that are trying to keep us from doing that? I mean, I understand controlling us, but wouldn't it be a better place? More profitable if they want to make money, right? I mean,
yeah.
People would be productive and fun and learning and education, and we could move forward. Why hold us back?
You know, what's really fascinating, because I did so much of my training at the College of Psychic Studies in London, and then I worked there for 14, 15 years before my international career became so intense. I was given private access to the archives there, and during the Victorian period, of course, Queen Victoria was so proactive in terms of the spiritualist movement. She had strong connections. The royal family had strong connections with the College of Psychic Studies, which is based in South Kensington. Whilst I had access to those archives, I was also able to see that there were massive connections with the elite, with government, with this particular arena. So at some point within the context of our journey with not only the mystery schools, but with the Victorian era and that profound emergence and interest in Egypt, which inspired, of course, the spiritualist movement. It inspired so many of the greats like Casey and Blavatsky and Bailey, of course.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, it becomes a critical turning point where that information is suppressed. And as you say, yes, it would be incredible for individuals to be up to speed within the context of their consciousness and powering in terms of their sacred destiny and engaging in life with great metaphysical gifts. So at some point in terms of the transition from the 19th century into 19th, 20th, 21st century, there is for sure a manipulation within the context of what metaphysical training means. And as you know, the elite institutions, they've always maintained their parapsychology departments, for example. So in terms of real training, the mystery schools bring back into balance sacred feminine and sacred masculine. Within the context of that means genius, human potential, because of course you're engaging with the potential of your intellect, the potential of your mind, and the huge capacity of the heart. Where we have the heart in its greatest potential, we also have great self-responsibility. And if you are a mystery school student and expert, you'll be aware that there's been a huge cover-up as regards to ancient Egypt. That takes me back into the 18th and 19th dynasties. It takes me right to Akhenaten, and it takes me into his teachings as regards to sacred love, sacred destiny, being guided by, of course, the priests, who I also believe were extraterrestrial guides on the planet. So we have these incredible gateways of knowledge that have been and can also exist right now here on the planet. But of course, I believe what we must do is step into the training structures, step into the sites, step into our earth, step into the relationships and the communities and the mobilization that takes us into raising our frequency again, so we can reconsider these particular technologies as being critical in saving the planet. With that in mind, once we begin to really develop and accelerate these technologies, I mean, contact is ours. I mean, and for me, I stay very tight and close to the prophecies. I follow the instructions. Where I am sacred called, I show up for projects. I do not create any strategy as regards to my projects. If I am sacred called, I show up, I work, I am gifted in terms of being able to offer training programs at particular gateways as well. So these are all technologies, experiences that can unplug us from the false matrix. And that's what we must do, because each and every country carries its own unique collective frequency, its own challenges within the context of the false matrix, within the context of the elite agenda. For example, I do run a mystery school in Japan also, and that is held at the pyramids of Japan in a place called Asuka in Nara. It's there where there are perhaps a pyramid complex of 3 pyramids. It's later than Egypt. There is a rock ship present there as well. There are stone circles present. I mean, there has been so much deleted and depleted in terms of this knowledge that ties so much of the planet together in a technology of one, in a consciousness technology that maintains the alignment with sacred reality. And the pyramids are huge within the context of that.
Well, let me take a break right here. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the more important sacred sites around the world. Our guest tonight, Tracy Ash, live from the UK. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
We listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new paranormal radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the paranormal radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the paranormal radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Tracy Ash is live with us from the UK. I want to remind everybody, this is our week. Tomorrow night, Daryl Sims, the alien hunter, is going to be here. And Wednesday night, it's Richard Bleepin Dolan, our last guest of 2018. And, of course, Thursday night is Fader Night with Teresa Yannaris and Divine Frequency on the airwaves, followed by open lines all night long. Now, Tracy, We started to talk about different sacred sites around the world, and which you visit regularly. Let's go through what are some of the more important sites to visit.
Okay. 7 gateways to the central sun. So we have, oh my goodness, Shasta is huge in terms of, I was sacred called up there in April, and that's where we had the direct experience. I mean, Ascension's happening there, and we premiered that film, and I mean, it delivers, it nails it in terms of this is what's happening. So Shasta, we've got, of course, Stonehenge, Glastonbury here, you've got Bolivia, you've got Uluru, you've got, of course, the Great Pyramids. For me, it's also about going to Japan as well, Tibet. So I'll run through the sites that I'm actively working with currently. So Shasta, for sure. I mean, I'm sacred called. We're going to be doing a massive gathering at Shasta, just specifically for Ascension and Contact, and that'll be held in September of 2019. Egypt, of course. I mean, Egypt for me, the Great Pyramid this is where the sacred contracts of humanity are held. I mean, to experience initiation, ceremony, time, private time at the Great Pyramid is just extraordinary. I mean, and the metaphysical experiences. I have photographs of clients being initiated with these vertical beams of indigo light. I mean, at Shasta, we have the films. In Giza, I run out of memory in terms of how many photographs, how many experiences we have that definitively prove Ascension is now.
Where does this happen in Giza? Do you go inside of the King's Chamber? Are you outside at the Sphinx?
Okay. Let me run you through a couple of experiences. Yes, definitively in ceremony inside the Great Pyramid, in the King's Chamber and in the Queen's Chamber, because importantly, as we move up through the Great Pyramid in ceremony, the Queen's Chamber must be visited as a necessary requirement in terms of sacred alchemy, to reset in the sacred feminine, and then to ascend the gallery into the King's Chamber so that the sacred contracts can be accessed once again. Those are 2-hour experiences, and I privately hire those.
What do you think? Let me ask you, what do you think the Great Pyramid was built for? What's its purpose?
Okay, I'm an original keeper of the sacred contracts of humanity. I mean, the first time I went into the Great Pyramid for ceremony, I had a group with me, and I was completely blown away by the information that was being gifted, downloaded, channeled, and the communication. I was immediately able to access my past lives. Again, we got this time traveling theme that comes through. Rock solid ascension, rock solid sacred work, authentic and genuine mystery school work. I do work off a lot of triggers in terms of my past life memories as well. So many fragments of my past lives are rebooted when I'm at these sites as well. So in the Great Pyramid, yes. The previous experience, the experience I just had, I believe it was just in September in my trip with students to Cairo. That gave us an incredible gift of understanding the current frequency of the planet, I'm a seasoned and very, 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 very solid energy worker, channel, etc. To be given the current reality status of the planet is quite shocking. And it almost caused one of the girls to faint. But what I believe is this: when we go to sites such as these, I mean, we're in the reality work that is truth-based, and this is what solid mystery school training delivers. It shows you what reality is, and it equally at the same time gifts you the metaphysics and the gateways and the assistance to be able to solve the current challenges of our personal reality and our collective reality as well. So gateways are hugely important. When I've been sacred called in the past, I've also been sacred called to open the 7 gateways to the sun, and that I do regularly, because the gateway to our central sun is, of course, the gateway that allows us to expand to the outer limits of ourselves through metaphysical processes, through mystery school training. You have the time traveling that comes into it, through real initiation work, real ceremony work, real training, consciousness training. But we also have the other gateway that's opened, and that means we can call contact in here. And again, the training is hugely important, because the consciousness, the gateways that we open, is directly connected with the levels, the reality of consciousness that we currently exist in order to open the gateways to contact that is going to revolutionize and aid our planet in the most incredible sacred ways, then we must enter into immaculate training, immaculate experiences, immaculate self-understanding, self-knowing, and we must step into the mobilization. And I was going to bring that up with you. We need to stand together as experts, and we need to come together as experts in this arena, and we need to mobilize, and we need to call in contact together, because the mobilization is a critical part of tipping the reality balance, so that we're not just considering ascension, we're actually consciously stepping into that gateway. And I believe this is hugely important. As initiates, we must know the way to show the way, and this is hugely important. And when we're capable of that, when we're capable of generously mobilizing together and honoring each other's respective destiny and paths and mission on the planet and areas of expertise, etc., then we can stand at these gateways and be completely mesmerized by the possibilities of contact. I mean,
contact with ET.
Yeah. So it's the dimensions, the intelligence, the extraterrestrials that have a firm eye on the evolutionary journey of humanity. So those evolutionary ETs that are aiding us through the time phases. This is why mystery school training is so critical, because as we solve 3 and 4D, of course, we activate 5D. That allows us access to these quantum timelines that are available at these incredible gateways, at these incredible sites. And with the magnification of these quantum gateways, so the calcite is present, and the calcite is the magnifier. So it ramps up our consciousness, it ramps up our reality, it ramps up our intelligence. So my understanding is we need to mobilize to these gateways. I mean, Shasta, Egypt, Mount Fuji, Uluru. I mean, the individuals I know who are hugely conscious and hugely committed to what comes next in terms of the planet. My global community is hugely dedicated, and we regularly mobilize together, for example, via the internet or via syncing up with meditation that is pro-evolution, pro-planet, pro-ascension. I mean, what can we do in terms of our consciousness? I mean, it takes us into an entirely different reality zone as regards to metaphysics. So how do we impact reality? How do we heal our planet? I believe that as we begin to ignite more and more of these superhuman potential technologies, these metaphysical gifts that are written about within the context of ancient intelligence and the mystery schools, we begin to create that dream on Earth. And that is the way that we really do engage with healing our planet and handing over the possibilities to the next generations. I mean, it's huge stuff.
Yes, and I see that. Do you know which ETs are in contact with us?
I've lost you.
I said, which ETs are in contact with us?
Okay, I have, within the context of the work that I'm doing, I have.
Oh, and we have lost. Okay, there you go. You're back.
Are we back? It's because we're getting into certain subject areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I have really strong alliance with Sirius, the Pleiades also. Sirius is huge within the context of ancient Egypt, and Egypt for me is at the heart of the reality game changer, particularly because of the prophecy that's connected with ancient Egypt and the prophecy of the Dendera zodiac, which speaks of this current changing age where the rise of humanity is connected in the transformation of the wound. And that this is all documented in what is the Dendera zodiac. The Syrian connection also brings me back to the sacred contracts, which are indeed indigo, which are also, and those sacred gifts, those metaphysical gifts are also demonstrated in these evolutionary generations, in the indigos, which you will see in all generations, not just in the millennias and the crystals and the rainbows, but in many, 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 many generations, you always see evolutionary forerunners. So that's quite an important part of distinguishing not only contact, but distinguishing our origins within the context of our contracts, and distinguishing which extraterrestrials, which star systems, which alliances are currently aiding the evolution of the planet in the time phases to aid us in fast tracking, to restore the sacred reality, sacred earth, sacred humanity. So it's those extraterrestrial alliances that I look to within the context of my own work, because acceleration is key, because we're also running out of time in terms of saving humanity, saving the planet. So those
Is that what ET is interested in? I mean, why the interest in us? And I believe that they are, but but why the interest? Why do they care about us? We're just a little planet on the fringe of the Milky Way. There's billions of planets. Why us?
Okay. Well, we've always had contact. We've always been guided. We've always had communication. And these gateways definitively prove that. I mean, when we show up at these gateways, we have contact experiences. It defines another reality within the context of who we are. As a species, as humanity on the planet, we've been manipulated, we've been enslaved, we've been distorted.
Oh, did we lose you, Tracy?
Of course.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So that resetting of our consciousness that comes with genuine contact that is pro-evolutionary is extraordinary. I mean, the potential of your transformation, the potential of your evolution. Let me just give you an example. At Zen Awakening Festival, which was just held in November, I did a skywatch, and we set up in a very brief way to set, to reset, to meditate a little. And then as soon as we opened our eyes, contact was there. We had flyovers. But more than that, it's about the reality gateways that are open, the consciousness dimensions that are opened to us because we're activated, we're initiated. There was a guy working with us, our head of security. He had no experience whatsoever of meditation, of contact. And as he was driving around the property, of course, he witnessed contact. And to have these extraordinary experiences, legitimate experiences, what does it give us? It gives us hope that we're not alone, and indeed we are not alone. We've been led to believe that we are, and that's part of my work in terms of repairing the false matrix and the distortions. I mean, incredible experiences, sacred experiences. Contact is sacred. I mean, it's near biblical. I mean, the genuine contact experiences. Change you forever.
Well, sure. I've had many, I've taken people out. We've had literally hundreds of people in a sky watch where we've had 20, 30, 40, 50 sightings in a night. All of it without meditation. In that, I think that the vibe that you project, the positive vibe, because I'm out there, I'm clowning around, Tracy. I'm goofing, I'm cracking jokes, but a positive vibe, and we have had extraordinary things happen. But to that end, no communication, right?
Okay,
great sightings.
I'm right with you. I'm right with you on that. I'm exactly the same. I think it should be high frequency.
Yes.
So I do have an amazing time goofing about too. So, your listeners have kind of got me in my sacred warrior mode, and I can be like super, super serious, but I love goofing about because of course it brings an extraordinary contact. But what I want to do is to take it to the next level. So we discover what is happening within the context of the communication and what can happen with our consciousness.
Do you before we're going to head towards a break right here, and we'll pick up when we come back. When you are doing a night watch, at that moment when something reveals itself, and it's extraordinary when it happens, I absolutely love it. At that moment, are you having direct communication? Are you channeling? Are you having a direct communication with whatever those crafts are?
Okay, so what happened, for example, at Shasta, I was directed to the location and the time, the site, and then the whole of the mountain started to throb. And I mean, the whole of Shasta was sparking out this incredible frequency. I mean, the whole mountain was live. And then the first ship went up, and then the whole fleet finally positioned itself over around 90 minutes. And we had a really large craft behind us, and it's coming in closer. Within the context of the communication that comes in as regards to the contact, my communication is always about saving the planet. It's always about evolution. It's always about really upscaling and activating those individuals who are with me so that they can go on in their communities to make a difference and to live their lives in a better way. So for me, contact is hugely important. The evidence is important, but what is more important is what happens when we are in that critical communication, whether it's through telepathy, channeling, downloads, however you label it. Real communication is going to take us into that on-planet contact. I mean, we had experiences with extraterrestrials on the mountain at Shasta preceding this particular contact experience. For me, I am working with developing training programs that aid us in transforming completely 3, 4D and really resetting the bar as regards to our human potential and our consciousness and our frequency.
We need to take a break right here, Tracy, so let's do that right now. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion on contact with ET. This is extraordinary for me. As all of you know, I've had enough of my share of contact over the years, and we will do this when we come back. Our guest, Tracy Ash, live from the UK. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants
pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Tracy Ash, live with us from the United Kingdom. Tomorrow night, Daryl Sims, the Alien Hunter, is here. Wednesday night, Richard Dolan. Thursday night, Fader Night with Teresa Yannaris. And now, Tracy, I've done so many night watches. I mean, too many to count. So much footage and contact. It's been great. But when I see these ships, I often wonder, is there an ET on board, right? Somebody like controlling, right? Like flying the ships, or are they just mechanical? Are they just probes or satellites here to check us out and to monitor us? What do you think? Is there an actual living biological creature on board these craft, or are they just satellites, probes sent here?
Because of the nature of the 7 gateways, I'm definitively clear that it is about direct contact, for sure. So, for example, when I'm at sites, I'm also greeted by the ancestors as the guardians, as the keepers of the Stargate, and then from that comes in the contact. So as our frequency changes and evolves, the sightings that you experience. And oh my God, I just love Skywatchers too. I mean, it's so fun and it's amazing because, of course, when you're working in a group, those who haven't experienced anything like it before are just astounded by the level of contact that comes through regular Skywatchers, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I did this with my dad in summer, and he was like, wow, and he's almost 80 and he just loved it. He was just so excited. So where we have that kind of mobilization and then also ease within the context of the possibility of contact and the evidence of it also, the next stage, of course, it's contact. It's the direct experience.
Why do you think, let me ask you this. When we had, this goes back many years, but one night we had something extraordinary, and there was a documentary film crew there. We had a couple of hundred people, and this ship took off from Earth, flew up into the stars. Okay, it lasted about 5 minutes. It was huge. It was big, and I walked away from that thinking to myself, if the media was here, well, I am the media, right? Okay, but I was there. But if Fox News was, if CNN was there, would they report on this contact that was just made? Would they? It was so extraordinary. And if they, I could invite them out. I went out and reported on this, and not only on Fade to Black, but on Coast to Coast. And I thought to myself, the media is listening to me right now. There are millions of people listening to me. And they are going to come back and ask me about this. Nobody asked for an interview. Nobody asked for the footage. Nobody was concerned about it. And I don't get that. And this type of contact is important. And of course, you've just stated that. And it's happening, but they don't care. Well, what? I don't understand why. It's the best form of contact that there is.
I absolutely agree. Certain organizations, certain individuals will completely support this cause, which is about truly establishing that contact exists. It is, yes, it is genuine. Contact is here. I also feel that often our efforts are closed down, even in this arena also. So thank you for inviting me on your show, because I experienced the same. I expected there to be a lot more interest, especially in the Shasta footage, and that footage was sent to various high-profile organizations without any contact with me to pursue any investigation other than CSETI Australia. So it's fascinating that often our efforts are closed down, but what I believe is that, again, it's about mobilizing with the right individuals. It's about mobilizing with the organizations who don't want to suppress the information. It's about mobilizing groups, and I mean larger groups. It's about creating our own media vehicles and pursuing the evidence, and then, bagging that evidence, filming it, and maintaining the correct path with what is an extraordinary gateway of knowledge and humanity aid. And I think the next frontier is about pursuing the exploration of what contact means in terms of an education, in terms of my information in terms of the prophecies that I connect with, the communication that I have with these high-level pro-humanity extraterrestrial beings that are here on planet and off, because you've just described a ship that was leaving Earth as well. And so what we must do is come together so that the information is not suppressed, it's not destroyed, it's not closed down, and we're not in yet another Ascension cover-up. So, and I believe this is kind of how you found me as well. Rita said that my name had come up in several conversations over the last few days, and energetically, we find our way to the other organizations and individuals who've experienced and are experiencing the same challenges and the same similarities as regards to contact. And all of these similarities and synchronicities, and these all need to be recorded. In fact, we need to move into a greater research model and create more groups mobilizing. In fact, I set up a New Earth project where groups mobilize. So we're really powering. So a couple of hundred here. It doesn't matter if it's a small group, but there's a massive global matrix of communities coming together. And that's what we have to do. The prophecy that came in is that they will utilize the stargates, and they are prepared to make contact, prepared to be here so that we can experience them. Not only us within the context of what we love doing in our sky watches, but that they're experienced and that they're visible here on the planet. The more that we dedicate ourselves to raising the consciousness of the planet and staying with that commitment to sky watchers, staying with that commitment to getting the message out there. You know, your radio show is one of those gateways, and for people it's a lifeline, because of course we get challenged because we don't fit into conventional paradigms.
Sure.
But that's exactly what the Ascension cover-up is all about, because of course being unconventional and having these experiences is our sovereign right. I mean, we need to keep going. I don't want anything to stop me. It can't stop me. I'm sacred guided.
Well, and this is what is interesting, Tracy, in that 2018, it seemed like, if we go back to the beginning of this year, that disclosure was imminent, that things were cranking in the right direction. And here we are, December 17th, nearing the end of the year, and everything that we thought was going to happen a year ago didn't, and now we have to look at 2019. Is 2019 the year of disclosure? Is this where things are going to start to change?
I'm so not getting into that problematic question. I mean,
know, right?
So many people attempt to answer it. Okay, what I know is it's here. Based on what I presented at New Life Expo in New York, I think it was end of October, we got invited to the United Nations. I mean,
what happened there?
On.
Yeah, what happened at the United Nations?
Well, we got invited to the United Nations based on my showing the movie, the film footage on Shasta. And we were invited to speak with someone there about the experiences about the work of the United Nations. But that's irrelevant. When we left the United Nations, there was a rainbow over New York. And what I believe is that it is imminent and it's there. But I think the most important work is the work that we are doing to inspire more people, to give them the direct experiences. And disclosure is happening in our community. And as that builds and as that evolves, we don't have to persuade those who are closing it down. So this is how we save the planet. This is how we ensure the survival of the planet. It's not about contemplating when, it's already happening now. And if we are dedicated to our work in this arena, then we ensure that so many people during these times see themselves through that gateway of ascension and contact.
No, I understand that, and I totally agree with you. But there are so many in the consciousness and the awakening community when it comes to disclosure. For them, yes, they need the confirmation from the President of the United States that steps up to the podium and says, "We are not alone." That will allow those to start to move on. They don't have to deal with that anymore, and they can worry about the other things that will help them move into 5D. That question is answered.
But can I also say something as regards to that statement?
Sure.
It's a 4D reality and corridor attachment. If one is waiting for the nod of the President of the USA, then you're in a reality gateway which is 4D, and that is not going to permit you to ascend. And why should we be waiting for the nod of the President of the United States or anyone else for that matter? What I believe is we become victims in this arena of data overload. And what we should be doing is pursuing our own practices, maintaining this build of contact. I mean, regular sky watches as you're doing, et cetera, really build the reality. And we will open the corridors, the gateways, where disclosure is finally forced. But waiting for the nod is not the answer also.
How did the invitation to the UN come about?
Because someone from the United Nations was in my in the audience of the panel, and I showed the film and I spoke on raising the consciousness of the planet.
And was it, this is just for me, Tracy. I got to know. What was it like? Did you go into a room, a boardroom? Did they review the footage?
I had a private tour we had a private tour of the United Nations. But it's, for me, that's not the most important stuff, because the most important stuff is about change on the planet. So for me, my most amazing moment of this year, I think, is working at Zen with all these kids who are full of hope and who want to have contact experiences, and they know that it's real, and those kids need to be mentored and guided. So it's all relevant and non-relevant in a sense. I am prioritizing the work on training people because I believe that's a crucial part of us untangling ourselves from conventional laws that restrict us, even in this arena, even when we believe we have trained a lot or read a lot, etc., etc. And I think that's also one of the problems when we have a massive leaning towards 3D education. Of course, we'll be waiting for Ascension to happen because it's an initiation which comes with really inwardly looking at our contracts of destiny, our life lessons, and resolving any outstanding wounds.
Well, look, if I took a private tour, if I got a tour of the United Nations and they were asking me about ET contact, I would think that that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's it? Oh, that is too funny.
But you know what I love? I love contact.
Well,
So contact for me brings extraordinary gateways, corridors. It brings huge leaps in our awakening, our human potential, our reality, our journeys, our love as human beings. And so I'd rather be in sacred contracts with other human beings who are radiating love on the planet, and who are a joy to be with. The other stuff is incidental. The gateways, the stargates, the power sites.
And you're right.
Humanity, where individuals are clearly redefining what reality on this planet can be. That's the stuff that I am so passionate about.
Why do you think there's so much anger right now? The planet seems to have absolutely spun into entropy where I'm not even sure if the wounds can be repaired. Why are we just so angry right now?
Well, this is why aid is becoming more available to us. Wherein, and I see clients a lot in terms of the more complex nature of the wound, and I'm able to detect unresolved wound where perhaps you as an individual, you've seen maybe a lot of people, etc., but they haven't been able to resolve it. What we're in at this time is we got a backlog of incarnations that have frequency distortions, which are all connected with our existence on the planet repeatedly through incarnations that have been definitively hijacked by an elite power agenda. And what I'm seeing with my clients is this I can trace back through multiple lives, and that's what we're currently cleaning up, and we're being forced to clean it up as we stand at the gateway of evolution. It's huge stuff. So that there's this huge reset in terms of this is your sacred destiny. And so yes, you're absolutely correct. The 3D is super surfacing because, of course, the hijack and also at the same time, the cost to elite power, the false matrix, is huge if many more of us wake up and understand that we don't need to be enslaved any longer. Anger is what is the control. It's the low frequency device. So as we are unable to resolve our wound, then that anger can grow. So it's hugely important to be guided, to be mentored, to be aided by individuals who can help you to see your blind spots, help you to navigate the wound, help you to finally resolve. But again, there's multiple factors that come into play with this.
When
meditate
sure
is, but in whatever form. If you like goofing about, it's a form of meditation. If you love sky watching, it's meditation. If you love having coffee, it can be a meditation. So again, we're just moving these parameters of conventional technologies that sometimes make our toes curl if we're not that way inclined.
So, okay, we're going to be coming to an end here. And before we get there, I want to thank you for this amazing conversation tonight. But if as quick as possible, this may be too long of an answer. But if we don't come together, if we don't figure this out, what happens?
Well, that is the question that I don't want to see as a reality.
Right. None of us do.
This isn't definitively, I believe there are individuals who have contracted to save the planet, and those guys are mobilizing. And what I'd like to suggest to you is that we find our community and we come together. Conscious Life Expo is massively supportive of the work that I do, and they support my workshops, and I'm doing post-conference. So there are pockets of incredible people and organizations, and we all need to come together. We need to come together in our expertise, in our passions, and we need to share these through the community and the friendships that we have, whether it's about doing legitimate and solid and genuine metaphysical training, so that we're all under an umbrella that distinguishes us in our values for evolution. I think that's really important. I'd love to invite you to one of our gatherings. I'd love you to be a speaker on one of our panels. I really want to bring communities and people together who have the world at their hearts.
Yeah, and that's what's so wonderful about the Conscious Life Expo is that, you have 10, 15,000 people that gather, that are there for the positive energy, and it is just an extraordinary thing to experience. And for those that haven't done it, when you get there, the second you set foot and you walk in, you feel the vibe. And that is what is so amazing about the Conscious Life Expo. And we'll see you there. I can't believe it. In just like a month and a half, right?
Yeah, it's family. I mean, it's been such an amazing gateway for my work. I mean, it was the first expo I ever did in the States. So it's so close to my heart. And it's family, it really is.
Well, I look forward to meeting you and hanging out, and we'll be doing it. And safe travels coming over here, but it's just 6 weeks away. 6 weeks you're going to be here.
6 weeks. I know. Have a gorgeous Christmas too, hey?
Happy holidays, Tracy. Thank you so much. A great conversation tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm going to take a break right here. Tracy Ashe. Now, her website, of course, is tracyashe.com. The links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. And let's just have a chat. I'll open up the phone lines. Thank you, Tracy. Safe travels. We'll see you at the Conscious Life Expo. It's Fade to Black. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at jimmychurchradio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JamieChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black, Tracy Ash. TracyAsh.com. She will be at the Conscious Life Expo coming up in February. You can get all of your tickets and info. Just click on the banners at jimmychurchradio.com. All right, I'm opening up the phone lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or where are my phone numbers? 818-921-6929. Very interesting conversation tonight. And this is the thing with someone like Tracy, in that it's so committed, so definite and so defined that sometimes even for me it goes right past me, because I know that the intention and the contact and the reality of it is right there and it's in front of us. And you have to get into that zone and you just have to accept and be there. And that's exactly what she was saying tonight. And then you get it. You know, just get into the zone. Go right there. Get into the zone. Let's go to area code 4. Is it 479?
Yes, Jimmy. This is Jan Erik from Oslo.
From Oslo. Norway. Okay. How are you, man?
Norway. Hello, Jimmy. Good evening.
Good evening. Great conversation tonight.
Oh, my God. It's amazing what she's telling us now. But it's so true what you're telling now. We are now in this time we can experience all this, but we need to get to the community where we meet other people who are on the same level, who are actually beaming out love.
And
this is very important.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the point. And I know, through my own experiences that I have gone through, when you get a collective together and everybody is cool, right? Everybody is cool, and you just get it together, things happen. And there's a vibe, and there's a thing that goes on there. And it is very, very real.
Yes, it's the same thing when you up in SETI ranch. It's the same thing. Everybody is together to experience, to be together, and have this love effect on each other. Because therefore you are attracting to these places. This is why every people meeting around who are awake to this phenomenon, who we actually going through now.
Now you're in Oslo, and I can imagine right now you guys are like in darkness, right? You're full on winter right now.
Yeah, we are now 6:30 in the morning, and it's so dark, but we have a little snow, and we are now have a very hectic week because it's Christmas in a few days, and the problem here in Norway, we have this maniac industry about money, how to give presents to the people. And we can see how this is diverting the people. The people are going to go more and more expensive presents instead of giving their passion and love to their families and to be together.
And tell me, when you go through these periods of darkness, the sky must be extraordinary. The stars. Do you guys see things throughout the winter that you don't normally see?
We can see them, especially in wintertime when the clouds is very clear. We can see the sky, and we see that all the things flying over us. And if we go to the mountains, top of the mountains, we can see the Milky Way. We see the colors in the Milky Way. When we go a little further up, to 2,000, 3,000, we see it everything.
Right.
And that's amazing. And then have you had the times in a year? We have very darkness in the winter, and in the summertime we have sun almost every hour of the day. In the north, in the middle of the summer, the sun doesn't go down. Right. But in the south of Norway, we have sun to 2 o'clock, and the sun rise again 4 o'clock.
I watched.
That's the summertime.
And what was your name again?
Jan Erik from Oslo.
I watched a documentary about a year ago of a sky watcher going up into the mountains in Norway and just filming all night long in the mountains.
Yeah.
And there was stuff flying around all night long. I mean, it was a show.
It's like a wall. It's spinning around up there. This is because of the aura of the planet. We have the South and the North Pole. They making this special phenomenon to us.
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
The radiation from the sun is beaming them up with the color.
No doubt. It's absolutely extraordinary. One day I'm going to get over to Oslo and we can hang out. Okay.
You're much welcome, Jimmy.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your night. And if I don't talk to you, happy holidays.
Same to you. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
You're always fading up.
Thank you so much.
Norway.
Great phone call. Thank you so much. Oslo, Norway, checking in, and very, very, very cool. I'm telling you, things go down in the skies there all the time. Let's go to area code 217. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yeah, this is Stephen Mills from Quincy, Illinois.
Hi, Stephen Mills from Quincy, Illinois. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was really enjoying the show tonight. Jimmy, you guys got a good thing going there. It's kind of the first time I've actually listened to you guys, and I was really impressed with what Tracy was talking about. And I was just thinking, to try to get this kind of thing out there, more, I think people need to, like, if you're really passionate about getting more people involved in this kind of thing, I think, people should just, do some research on the internet, find things that are related to this, share it on your Facebook, stuff like that to get, more people involved. And I think we can reach this ascension that, she's been talking about.
Have you done any sky watching? Have you gone out there and made contact yourself?
Yeah, I've gone out and I've tried. Basically, just out in my backyard. I live kind of far out, and you can't see a lot. And I've had some experiences where it does almost seem like, if you really use some of the methods, that I'm a big follower of Dr. Stephen Greer also, and use some of those methods and stuff. It seems like things all of a sudden start showing up, and I'm almost into the believing that they almost kind of interact, with your thoughts, and it's really, really cool when that kind of thing happens,
What have you seen, Stephen?
I've just seen lights. I got a flashlight, and I've actually flashed, my flashlight, in the sky at them, and I've actually seen them flash back at me, and I'm knowing this is not an actual craft, that's known to us,
right?
And I'm not sure. With it being dark and everything and night, I just see the lights. I don't see any, physical features of the craft. But
well, when that happens, and I've done the same exact thing, right? And there's nothing more fun than a flash or when you get one of these guys to respond. But when that happens, how do you feel? Is it a life-changing thing as it is for me? I mean, it's like an epiphany, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's a little bit of fear involved.
Absolutely.
Because I started out with a feeling of fear. Like, man, I'm going to run in the house because I don't know what this thing, is going to do. And then that's when I start with the positive thoughts, and the peaceful thoughts, and trying to maybe possibly, relay your consciousness to, if there's something flying that, vehicle, trying to keep it positive and see if they, if they interact with that.
Well, yeah, you never know. You zap them with the flashlight or the laser, and the next thing you know, this thing lands in your backyard, and you're never seen again. Right? So
that would be that would be something. I would love for that. I'd love for that to happen, but I don't know if I would probably run in the house scared really scared, because it's a little bit more than I think I could handle right now. But, I'm trying to keep, be ready for this kind of thing, because I think it's just a matter of time before this kind of thing is going to be happening more and more.
I totally agree with you, Stephen. And if I don't talk to you again, have a great, safe holiday.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jimmy, and keep up the good work, man. I love your show.
Thank you, Stephen. Seriously.
Yeah, take care, man.
Have a great holiday.
Goodbye.
That's a great phone call right there. And he's absolutely right, though. You go out there and you flash, you zet, you do your thing and you get a response back. You don't know. It's fun when it happens, but you just don't know. I mean, what if that's the moment, right? Well, hopefully you're shooting video, and before you're taken away on the ship, drop your cell phone. Drop it on the ground so everybody knows what happened. Let's go to area code 631. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on, Jimmy? It's Joey from New York.
Hi, Joey from New York. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's everything?
It's a great night, man. That was a great conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, guys, awesome. Yeah, I was calling you. I don't normally call into these shows, but I have kind of a question. and I don't know what to exactly do about it. When I was a young kid, I used to get these, like, what I thought were, like, reoccurring dreams. And they were super panicky, and it would all start the same way. I'd be sitting in my room, and then the wind would start blowing, and I'd hear, like, this scratching of the trees, and the gate would start slamming, and then I would get, like, my heart would start pounding, like this big anxiety attack. And then all of a sudden, it would get so intense, and it would sound like an oil burner was, like, switching on, and it would cut off, and I would wake up. And then I noticed there was, like, this blue dot. It looks like almost like a pebble in my knuckle. It's on my left hand, and it's been there my entire life. In fact, it's still here. It's very visible. And I went to the doctor, and they said it was a foreign object. And I tried to cut it out myself. Like, I took a razor blade to it, and I could never get it out. Every time I would get close to it, it would, like, be very painful, and it would travel further down.
Oh, that's bad news. Right, okay.
Yes, I was like, you know, my family thinks I'm crazy because I'm like, I'm telling you, I think, like, I don't know what this could be. And then a couple of years ago, my ex-girlfriend was driving to my house, and there was a giant orb over my house. And as soon as she got close to it, it started to move away, and she chased it all the way down my highway here. And this was probably 10 years ago, and then we wound up dating again after, and she's like a hardcore Bible thumper Christian, doesn't believe in aliens, the earth was created 7,000 years ago.
Okay.
And she actually admitted it to me. And I had seen, weird things in the skies a couple of years ago. It was going on for like a year. And it would look like a star, and I would stare at it, and it would take like sometimes an hour, and then it would just take off. So I was just kind of wondering, like, where would I even go to find out?
Well, what did she think was going on? That's what I want to know.
She admitted that she thought it was a UFO.
Did it change her worldview?
She's very very close-minded, but I could tell for her to even admit it to me or even tell me, because I was telling her about this. It was like kind of like a wave that happened over like a year. I was constantly seeing stuff outside of my house, and I would run out, and then I'd run back inside, like, come look at this, so I know I'm not crazy.
Did this little object in your hand do anything different when these orbs were over the house?
No, and like no, I don't like it. I feel it in my hand, but it doesn't bother me in any way. It bothered me when I tried to cut it out. I'll tell you that. You know, super painful. And I have the scar because it used to be like a half-inch up. And my cousin was actually doing the procedure, if you will. And he was slicing it, and then he had like a pair of needle-nose pliers. And when he would get a hold of it, it would just not come out.
Oh, man.
You know, he's 6'1", 300 pounds. So for him not to be able to get it out. And then I started to get the more research I'd done with it. I'm like, I kind of don't want to take this thing out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Have you had it X-rayed?
Yeah, I had it X-rayed, and they said it was a foreign object.
What did it look like? Well, what did it look like in the X-ray?
In the X-ray, it would just look like a little circle, like almost like a sesame seed. Wow. You know, it was just like didn't look like anything really in the X-ray. But in my hand, it's like I could send you a picture if you want.
You should. Tomorrow night we're gonna have Daryl Sims on the show, and this is his area of expertise. Listen to the show tomorrow night, and certainly reaching out to Daryl may help you get some answers. I don't know. I haven't seen the X-rays. I haven't seen this damaged, scarred finger of yours.
Yeah.
But
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But Daryl is definitely one of the guys that you should reach out to, and he'll be on the show tomorrow night. But wow,
Well, yeah.
I'm just wondering if the two are connected. You know, this object in the hand and what's going on above the house. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And I'm not like, I'm a pretty logical person, but like, some things you just can't deny.
Yeah.
And I always make sure like I have someone to witness it. And I mean, that year of the sightings, like it would look like a star, and I would stare at it, and I'm like, this fucking thing is gonna move. And then all of a sudden,
watch the language. Watch the language. I know you're from New York, but. Hey, Joey, I got to get to some other calls before I get out of here, but I'll see you tomorrow night on the show. Thank you so much, my friend.
Awesome, Jimmy. Thanks for having me.
Happy holidays. And there you go. I'm going to try to get a couple more calls in really quick. 614, you're up next.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's Dexter Day from Australia.
Hey, Dexter, how are you, man?
Yeah, awesome, man. Great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. And so you're going to be, Tracy's heading your way next month.
Yeah, man. In January, we're going to Uluru. So she'll be at the conference, and she'll be doing a Skywatch with another woman, Kay. So yeah, looking forward to that. I really dig Tracy's vibe, and she resonates with me. I want to say it was really hard for me to understand her at first when I first started listening to Tracy. I've been sort of listening to her stuff for about 6 months now. But it really takes a lot. You really got to switch on and listen to what she's saying and connect. A lot of people say she hasn't answered questions directly, but that's just her style, is to explain things in detail, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I'm totally with you on that. Look, I felt the same thing as a show host and somebody that's done an awful lot of interviews. Everybody's got their own way of answering. And it does me no good to go, well, wait a minute, let's go back. You didn't answer. You know what? She answered the question in her own way. And that's right. I'm totally cool with that, But I understand. Look, the audience as a whole, when I ask a question, they are expecting a direct answer. Who built the pyramids? Well, so and so built the pyramids. Well, you know what? You've got to go. She understood the question. She answered the question. Yep. that's it. I'm totally with you on that. Now, Dexter, are you going to do me a solid and shoot some video? Are you going to go out for these Sky Watches and shoot some video for us? Are you going to be our producer at large?
Well, I think I'm going to have to, Jimmy. I've got a good camera ready to go, and I'm just sort of learning how to use it properly now so that we can get some good Skywatch videos, and I'll take lots of photos of the event and make sure I post them all up. So, yeah, I might even do a little interview and put it on YouTube, so get a couple of the people that are speaking and put it up on YouTube for people to watch. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm only going to share it if you wear a Fade to Black shirt. I'm just telling you right now.
I'll be wearing my shirt and my hat, Jimmy.
That's what I'm talking about, Dexter. So what have you got planned for the holidays? Can you believe it? For out there in Australia, is it the same vibe as it is over here?
With Christmas? Yeah, well, I don't get into Christmas as much anymore, but yeah, we definitely celebrate the holiday season over here, because in Australia it's summer. We have the long holidays for the school holidays and everything like that. So it's celebrated over a good period of the month. I mean, the holidays don't really finish till the end of January. It's so hot over here in a lot of places. So yeah, but we're probably going to have a quiet one this year. Got a few things going on, and of course we're going to Uluru. We'll be there on the 11th of January. So that's 3 weeks away. So we're sort of just gearing up to go to that, really.
I think Alexis Brooks is coming over too as well with Tracy. So you've got to go and say hi to Alexis, okay?
Okay, I will do. I'll say from Jimmy Church.
Oh, she's a fader not, my friend. You'll have fun. Thank you so much, Dexter. Behave and be well.
Thanks, Jimmy. Go Beckley Tapley, mate.
Go Beckley Tappy. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Dexter. Behave, man.
Yeah.
Dexter Dave from Australia. Wow, Oslo, Norway. We had New York, Illinois, and wrapping up the night with Australia. Now, I want to say this. There was something that was mentioned tonight that I really, really want to drive home. This is what I find interesting. These Skywatch events, and I would say that most of them have been absolutely extraordinary, where you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 things that happen in a night, but usually there are 2, 3, or 4 that are bleeping insane, absolutely insane. And why isn't the mainstream media going out and covering one of these? I don't understand. You know, I did look at Tracy's footage of Mount Shasta, and you look at that, and the entire sky above Mount Shasta is twinkling with objects in the sky. Twinkling. It looks like a giant Christmas tree, and she's right. You know, that's an extraordinary piece of footage. Why doesn't that attract attention of the mass media? And I know, you know, the moments, not only at ECETI, but out in Joshua Tree, and we had some great stuff that happened at Shasta too as well, where these things have happened that are inexplicable. You cannot explain this stuff away. And why isn't the mass media interested? You know, we've got the video footage. We've got the hundreds of eyewitnesses of extraordinary things that have happened. But yet the mass media isn't there. I would think that it would be some of the most incredible news reporting that anybody could do. Going out with a couple of hundred people, and just imagine if CNN was there to capture the Zorro Z, right? The Zorro Z, a blue Z zigzag in the sky that took up miles and just lit up like that. Well, somebody explain that to me, right? And just imagine if that was covered. It would be worldwide super news, but yet they don't do it. And I don't get it. When I went, and I remember walking away with Rita the night of the green chrome balls, and I turned to Rita and I said, and literally quoting direct, if Wolf Blitzer was here, would he go on the news tonight and talk about it? If Wolf Blitzer just saw what we just saw, would he? And you know what? The answer is no. And that's when I decided at that point, I am going to be that guy. I don't care. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I know what all of us just witnessed together. So you know what? I'm going to be that guy. I don't care what people say. I don't care what they think. I have all of my friends that were there to back me up, and I am backing them up, and I'm okay with that. You know, and if that's got to be the case. So when I went on Coast to Coast that week, that Friday night, and I took a full hour of Coast to Coast, 2 segments, to tell the story about what happened out there, you would have thought that somebody from the mainstream media would have contacted me. Nobody. We've got footage. We have eyewitnesses. We have the photography. We've got everything going on for a great sensational story that needs to be told. Nobody contacted us, and I couldn't believe it. I really thought that somebody would have reached out, even all the way down to like somebody like Vice, right? You forget about the real mainstream, but nobody, not HuffPost, not even the Daily Mail. You know, it was just incredible to me. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Tomorrow night, right here, Daryl Sims, the alien hunter, is with us. Wednesday night is Richard Bleep Dolan. Thursday night is Fader night with open lines all night long. Of course, Tracy Ash is going to be here. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. It's broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, Daryl Sims. Until then, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tappy.